Let's see here. Sweet. I'm just gonna pick up right where I was. I'm back from lunch. What was I doing? Working on the accordion character. Okay. I'm pretty happy with her. I think we can almost put her to bed. I like that little bit of motion. The heater just kicked on. Yeah, I like that little bit of motion going on. I think this is weak. This just doesn't look very good. So let's just keep pushing on this until it looks better. There's a lot of changes I made that I never told you guys about. Like, the camera, you can, when you pan up and down, it actually holds wherever you had it now. Did a lot of fine-tuning of that kind of thing. Just because people seemed really frustrated when they were playing on Tuesday. Alright, anyway. This is what we're gonna mess with. I could put in one of those big buttons we saw in the video from earlier. I like the idea that it's asymmetric. I like the idea that we cut it off in the middle. Like where that, the silver piece meets this. Maybe we like... Hey, Sidokan. What's up, man? Hey, May. I figured I was gonna work on this anyway, so why not just stream it? Have I mastered gift making? No. Shit, I should probably do that too, because it is Screenshot Saturday. But, I don't know. I'll start doing that at some point. Not yet. Besides, I think everybody... Well, a lot of Americans are traveling right now, I think. But yeah, I appreciate your assistance with the gift making. Oh, God. I don't think I put that episode on YouTube. Every now and then I'm like, YouTube doesn't know about this. And that's okay. They don't need to know. That I spent 4 hours making a single GIF. It's embarrassing. It was a good GIF though, right? We got there with it. That's what's important. Yeah, I think I want... do I want it to be a button? Where's my accordion? What do I want? Screen to Gift 2 app. I got the app that, what was it? It was recommended by Perp Lamps. They send out a lot of gifts, so I suspect they know what the fuck they're doing. I suspect you know what the fuck you're doing too. I suspect everybody knows what the fuck they're doing slightly more than me, like at a minimum. But, you know, as far as the gift thing goes. I know I'm really waffling here. What I'm thinking through my head is like, if I actually include those buttons, what color should they be? They can't be yellow. Nothing can be yellow except for the body of the character. That's very important. The extremities need to be silver, so you can see that this is the edge of a limb. I was going to use black as the in-between color, and I've really been avoiding any other colors. So I don't know. I can't use a different colored button. I could use a different shade of black. I could use no buttons at all and just have this be a weird silver thing. Maybe I'll do that. Like, at the end of the day. Maybe I'll make the buttons in general smaller. Like, what if these were small? Yeah, I'm just trying to previs with this. This morning I was working on the accordion character, and I'm still kind of working on her. I can show you real quick. Oh yeah, I still have it up. This is the accordion character, as she is right now. And I don't like this back panel at all. I kind of just started that this morning. Now that I know that this is going to be up here, I kind of like the idea of there being a silver line across, just to complete that thought. don't think I want it to be all silver. I think that'll end up being too much silver again. Another thought is we could have those modal buttons that's on an accordion that are kind of bigger. Could put those up here. No, I've been thinking about different names. I have a giant spreadsheet with names for the game that I just look at every now and then. I mean, so yeah, I guess I've been thinking about it, but I don't have a name yet. I call it 3D Puzzle Game. It's a running joke at the indie meetup. Gwen's working on 3D Puzzle Game again. So if you guys want, I could run some name ideas by you. I'm gonna dump a couple into chat. Tell me if you like any of them. Wrong dock. These are so bad. I'm not good at this. I'm embarrassed now even saying this. If you like either of those, let me know. I've decided to make characters as music instruments. Why? That's a good question. So I don't remember the first time I made them an instrument. I remember I wanted them to be robots or machines that kind of like busted out and were dancing, basically. I can't explain this. They were gonna be like robots or these machines that were working in a factory or working somewhere, and then they were like lost it and they just left and they just started dancing across the city skyline, and that was the very beginning. And I set the when I made the theme video for it, like when I was planning this out, I set it to music, and I really liked the music. And at some point, when was the first time I made one actually an instrument? I know I liked the idea that they were dancing to the music, and when I showed the video to people, they were like, oh, they're making the music rather than dancing, which makes sense. And then I just kind of went with it and I made them instruments. And I don't know, I just liked it. I wish I could say it was much deeper than that, but it really wasn't. Plus, once I started thinking about it like that, I couldn't stop. I was like, okay, yeah, now they're like getting the band back together. They're old friends, you know? And I just kept building the story based on that, having them be instruments. Plus, it lets me theme the world a bit, and I don't know. Every game I've ever worked on, we never start out thinking about music, but it's always a huge part of the game. Like the music in Bioshock Infinite is phenomenal. I love it. A lot of my work for like the DLC, I worked on the Paris scene, where it's literally the entire scene is set to this kind of, you're walking through Paris, and then you pass by somebody who's singing, and you pass by somebody else who's playing an instrument, and it's slowly building a composition until you reach the end, and then a bird lands in your finger, and the bird is twittering to the song. And for some reason, every game I work on, The Flame and the Flood had a huge, music was a huge part of the atmosphere. Music's always a part of every game I work on. I don't know why. It just kind of happens that way. Hey, Wow Freak, what's up? Thanks, Kuru. Kuru, I don't know if you've been here before. I don't remember. That could just be because I'm old and stupid and easily forget things. But this is her initial form. The problem is, now that I'm making her look all badass, I might have to go back and touch this one up. I thought she was pretty cool in this form. But now that she gets to be this cool, that other form looks kind of flat, doesn't it? And everything gets fucked up in Paris, yeah. Paris, that was a fun DLC to work on. I've never thought I'd say, you know, you don't look forward to DLC usually, but then you're usually really burnt out. But we had a good break between Bioshock and, between the shipping of Infinite and the start of that DLC to really think about it and let that stew. And I think the Paris DLC was my favorite. I liked the Burial at Sea too, but... Or wait, was that the same? I think of them as two different ones. God damn, it all blurs together. Yeah, the DLC... Well, I mean, it's... Narrative takes forever, man. Like... It just takes forever. To hit that kind of quality bar. Oh, the first one was like literally a map pack, right? The first one was, just combat rooms. What was I doing? Right. So do I want to go like this? Or like this? Yeah, let's try this. This will look okay. That's awesome, Kara. I'm glad it inspired you. It was a lot of fun to make. It was so much fun, I couldn't go work for a different AAA studio again. They spoiled me there. Something is wrong. I'll add that to the list, Sidokan. What usually happens is I come up with a name and then I Google it and see if there's another game named that, and then I see if the .com for it or the .game is taken for it and that sort of thing. Just because, like, every name has been taken at this point. You pretty much have to... That's obscure enough it might work. But you gotta go way obscure with this kind of stuff now. Okay, so like 3 across. Um, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That just really exploded my poly count for no reason. I should make those lower mesh. Or lower poly. Let's make sure I like it first. don't I use a Wacom? I don't know. I don't really like them. Um, Thanks for checking, Sedoken. I threw it on the list. I will grab a beer with a bunch of other... The name of the game is the kind of thing where you don't go with... how do I put this? You want to talk to people who are good at business. For the things like the name and the key art. Excuse me a second. I'm about to sneeze. You, that they're so important. You kind of want to make sure they're good. Because that's such a huge part of how successful your game is. So yeah, the way that's usually done is you get together with a bunch of other people who are... I know a lot of people who are good at indie business side of things. We'll get together, we'll drink heavily, we'll go through a list of names, and we'll pick one to start with. Obviously in AAA it goes very differently, but with like focus testing. But in the indie space that seems to be how it's done. Alcohol and group consensus. Candy Crush Saga. Yeah. I still think Socket League is the greatest name ever for a game. Someday, I'm gonna make that game. By then it will be taken. What the fuck was I doing? Right. Okay. Well... I think it's time to start cleaning some of these things up, so let me export skin weights. Just gonna start moving things into the accordion node so I have them for later, so that I can clean up my hierarchy a bit here. Weights. Skin, bind skin. That can probably just stay out. Let's see here. Ah, that doesn't look right at all. Every now and then you throw off the material ID order. You have to go do this crap. Alright, what do we know? Okay, that should be the line. I think this is just strip not exporting. Nope. Alright, there we go. No, the rolling isn't actually an animation. I'm physically rotating the pawn. There is no animation other than procedural animation yet. I do have a curve, like I have an ease in and an ease out when I rotate the pawn, but the pawn is just rotating over 0.2 seconds in any given direction. The pawn is what you call the character in Unreal, the pill, the physical thing that's moving through the world. So like I'm basically, here, give me 1 second. I'm about to start the game again, and I'll talk through it. So when I rotate the entire character. What I do have is when you land, I also move the character up and down. And in the case of her petals, I'm raycasting straight out from the petals, and if I hit geometry within 50 units, I aim the petal at it. So the petals are entirely procedural. There's also a procedural jiggle on this and on the petals. Oops. So you'll notice when she moves around, the petals will kind of jiggle when you go up and down, for instance. Though not as much as they should. Did I bust that when I was playing around earlier? But that's all procedurally done right now in Engine. Speaking of which, I was pretty aggressive earlier today when I was trying to get this shit to work. I didn't disconnect this. No, that's still in. Good. Anyway, yeah, these are the look at nodes. It's a very basic aim. It's just aiming the petal at the ground. Or at where... okay, so I cast a ray out from where the end of the petal is. Until it hits... If there's ground within 50 units, then I aim the petal at that. I guess that's the best way to put it. Anyway. What I was supposed to be looking at is this back. What the shit is that silver thing? What the shit is that? That stuff is fun. I'll spend forever on that stuff because I want to. I have a tech animation background, so figuring out that sort of thing is kind of like what I do for a living. I think there's a glitch with one of these buttons, so I'm gonna just re-export this real quick. Alright. What do we think? Is that too detailed? It feels like abstract as it did before. I don't know what I think about this. That's the goal. I'm really, really excited to see. I hope Grover gets into it and he's excited about the project. I think the right audio guy would have a lot of fun with something like this. Tomorrow I'm gonna package up a build. Tomorrow's gonna be a real come to Jesus moment. I'm gonna find out how fucked I am. There's nothing quite like making the EXE. This isn't good. Well, let's fix it. I got my start as a rigger. Rigging is really fun if you get into it. I think these days it's way less required. It's definitely gotten a lot easier than it once was. What do I used to do? Let's see here. Material IDs. God damn it. This is literally every material. Matte black. It's actually brown. Dark. Nope. Is it just not here? Oh crap, it's just not here. Whoops. Yes, so the way it's set up is there's the skeleton for just the body, and then there's a skeleton for each limb. And I had it set up that way initially because I didn't know how long I wanted each limb to be, at its extent and at its rest point, because I wanted to change around the puzzles and I wanted to really rapidly, well, to be honest, it was that way initially because initially the game had heavy customization where you could change the limbs around. You could just socket a different limb onto a different face of the cube. But I kept it up. I just kind of kept it that way for many reasons. It was really useful to be able to, on the fly, say, okay, here's a robot where the when one limb extends, two other ones retract, and here's a robot where when you extend a limb, it retracts on the other side, and I could just have all the limbs share one animation tree, and it was all working pretty well, so I kind of like that I have it that way. I think it's going to make it easier to make a wide variety of similar games, actually, if I wanted to, which I kind of do right now, because I'm still into it. You can basically have any combination of when one limb extends, do other things to other limbs. But part of that is that each limb has its own rig. Not that the rigs are intense, the rigs are 2 bones, basically. You have, like, the start point and the end point, and everything is just skinned between 2 bones. Right? What was I doing? I mean, today we added a midpoint so that the accordion could have, like, a bit of a spring to it, but that's new. Modular fried chicken, yeah. We had a whole podcast about that at one point. What was I doing? Yeah, this didn't export properly. Again. It's an ongoing thing with this. You need to add a component to your character like cloth strips that use bones dynamically. Unreal is great for that. Personally, I think if I knew the character was always going to have it, I would just throw those bones directly onto the rig of the character, and I wouldn't have the animator animate them. I would just set them to be dynamic in engine. I wouldn't make anything an attachment unless you have to, like for gameplay reasons. I just think it's cleaner to have one skeleton if possible. Oh, they're optional, so they can be socketed on and off. In that case, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. A fun thing to do is to set master pose component, if you've never tried that before. This will save you if you want to do something where sometimes attachments, you'll get like a 1-frame lag or something weird will happen. And anytime you discover that, what you can do is you can set master pose component. So say you have like, say there's a strip that's optional that is attached somewhere to the pelvis. Like in your bone hierarchy, you would parent that bone under the pelvis, or if you were going to attach, you'd attach it to the pelvis with an offset. Actually go ahead and add it to your skeleton, go ahead and add it to your rig, and set master pose component from that skeletal mesh to your base mesh. Google set master pose component sometime. It's a way to make characters that are modular, basically. It's used a lot for character customization, anything where you want to be able to pop different skeletal meshes onto the same skeleton. I use that more than attachments. I use it a lot. Yeah, no problem. Most of the stuff you're going to get is, most of the people using set master pose component are doing it because of character customization, which is, to be fair, a lot of my life is dealing with character customization. But yeah. I take it you're using the Unreal Engine, Sedoken? Oh, God damn it. Man, I just don't like it. Why don't I like it? I just don't like it. It looks like... It looks like a kitchen appliance from the 60s. It's the bevel and the silver outline. It's just not good. The back of the accordion. I just hate it. Maybe the problem is I've deviated too far from the art style. And I just need to, like... do a toddler sketch of it. Hey Chris, what's up, man? Well, I like that it's angular. I actually think the bevel might be a mistake. Like, what if I leaned into it being... Yeah, actually, I lost the... Nothing was ever supposed to be a perfect cube. That was like kind of the joke. This is a game about cubes rotating, but nothing's actually perfectly on center. And I made this on center, which I shouldn't have. I fucked up. That's problem one. So yeah, let's definitely make this like a trapezoid thing. How do we sell it as a trapezoid when it's matte black? Too much silver looks bad. Looks kind of like spacey. She's already looking spacey. I tried fewer buttons, it just looked weird. That's what I had at the end of the stream earlier. I think the buttons being scribbles is the right way to go. I'm really tempted to use the yellow, but that's breaking a pretty hard rule. I have so few rules. I can't break the ones I have. Let's... Alright. Control, delete. Matte black, not that glossy polished piano look. Nah. Maybe I should go for like a polished black. Have to think about it. Hey Chris, were you here earlier? Oh god, I'm so sorry. I definitely like ate half of a pie on my own. Just half of one. Like some kind of animal. Alright, I already think I'm gonna like this a bit better. Anyway, dude, Seth playtested the game. He liked it. He had feedback, but I like the premise, he's into it. Which is very exciting. So you're next, man. I'm going to, you're gonna be the one that playtests in December. Chris Lum. Gonna get real designers. Because you can show a game to your art friends and they'll always be like, hey, that looks pretty. And it's fine. And they'll always be really encouraging, like, this is the greatest game ever. But they'll say that even if it's shit. Which is crazy, because they'll also shred your work when it comes to art. Yeah, I can't tell you what he said. Mostly because I've already changed a lot of things he said, because he was pretty much entirely right. I mean, a lot of what he did was bump up against bugs I should have fixed a long time ago. He had, yeah, the way characters are introduced is something I have to think through. Like the order they're introduced in, and just the fact that I'm making a linear puzzle game. I tried to solve the fact. So if somebody gets stuck in a puzzle, I wanted them. At first, I just had the ability for people to skip, but nobody would ever skip a level, no matter what the fuck I did. So then I added this idea that there's different tracks, so you can switch between different characters. But I didn't really think through like how to message that. It's just kind of like there's buttons there, and Seth's like, "Why would I ever hit that button?" I'm like, "'Cause you're stuck." And he's like, "How would I know that?" I'm like, "I don't know. Read my mind, asshole." But that's not the correct solution. So I gotta think that through a bit. I'll come up with something. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, I had that. I part of it is the narrative isn't there yet. Like they're in the very opening area. Okay, hold on. So like the opening should teach you everything you need to play. Which is just kind of like, hey, WASD moves you. Oh my god, what is a wall? This is a wall. Shit, where do I go? Oh, camera. I have to rotate the world. Seth had a good point about make one place where you can see where you are and you can see where the end is, but you can't see your path unless you rotate the camera. Because even watching some other people play the game, even after that, they still never ever move the camera. Anyway, here is the point where she's stuck. There's kind of like a narrative beat that plays out, and then this part down at the bottom flashes, which you can't see because my face is in the way. This part down here flashes, and you see you can change characters. And that's kind of how I messaged that. Another thing that happened was, hold on. Even though, so a couple people played it, and every single person that got to this point, even though you start here and you see that the goal is here and this is clearly lit up and this is clearly blue, every single person went this way and jumped off the ledge. Just kind of like, I don't know what to do about that yet. Nobody was mad about it. They all figured it out pretty quickly. So maybe I won't fix that. Maybe that's fine. Tried to go help the other one. Yeah. Maybe it was like, I want to go help them. I don't know. But I will say, watching people play, I immediately figured out what to do for the controls for the trombone and fixed them. And I think I'm finally happy with the controls. Because the controls for the trombone were a pain in the ass, right? Because, like, this is a character... This is the only character where you have to choose between which limb you're activating. The other is, like, you just click and it just happens. But for the trombone, you have to choose, and it always felt shitty. And I think I've found a way that's the least shitty. Which is kind of like... There's only two options. It's very much Boolean, right? And rather than letting you select one that's on or off, now you can only select one that's extended. And I think this feels... like I'm not used to it. Because I'm still used to the old way, which was shit. But I think for new people this will actually feel right. I think this is probably good. Yeah. I appreciate that, Chris. So I'm gonna package up a build tomorrow for, I guess you don't know him, an audio friend of mine, Grover. I don't know why you would know him. And then I'm gonna either focus on gray boxing the rest of the puzzles, or arting up just this entry area to be perfect, or both. Beautiful corner, you know, go wide and go deep, and then once I have that done, which should hopefully be in December, I'll send you a build. Gray box world. All this is assuming I can package build tomorrow, which is a huge assumption. I've only done it once. Yeah, that's kind of the goal. What was I doing? Right. Yeah. I've lost my mind. It's in here. Did I fucking lose my material IDs again? Alright, don't whine. It's fine. The worst part is you kind of have to guess it, because the names of the materials and the actual materials don't line up ever. This goes here. No, sorry. Silver. Nope. Must be you? Nope. Also body. That's weird. Yeah, feel better, Chris. Shit, which thing did I just change? Hey, what's up? Chris Light. Simplify. Yep, updating the characters. Musician, I don't know. I'm talking to an audio guy. I'm making a build for them tomorrow, because they're going to be free to start looking at things on starting Monday. Okay, I hate this less. I hate this less. God, it would be so easy if I just made it yellow instead of black. I would just like it. What if I went with like matte silver? I could probably get away with that without breaking any real rules. Too dark or light. Yeah, it is really exciting. Grover's an old friend of mine. He was like, he cut his teeth as the audio scripter at Bioshock Infinite, and he's really been, like, he went back to school for music, I think, and he's kind of been forcing his way around, and he's starting to build a name for himself. He's really good. And if he wants to work on this project, I think it'd be great to have him. But I mean, I kind of just want to... The important thing is to work with somebody that wants to work on this. I mean, it's a puzzle game where musical instruments are moving across the skyline. I feel like there's gotta be a certain number of audio people that'd be super into that. Even if it's, I don't know, not a AAA title. I feel like that's kind of just an exciting, interesting thing for a music person, but maybe I'm dumb. I don't know. But yeah, I kind of want to wow Grover. I want to win a heart and mind with him. What's my deal? Why do I hate this still? I think I could like it. I'm on a trajectory towards not hating it. We're getting there. less of a 60s kitchen appliance. The Playdead sound design. I didn't actually hear what they did for their audio. Though that one level where you've got what is it? You have this level where there's like the gusts of wind inside that like blow across the that blow forward, and you kind of gotta run and get behind the beams before the happens. I fucking love that level, man. It's such a interesting pacing moment in the game. Yeah, God, that was great. They say people who don't know anything about audio love moments with loud, big, extreme audio, and tend to think of that as the best audio, when in reality the best audio tends to be the harder stuff is the more subtle stuff. This is what I've been told. So I probably just committed like a faux pas or whatever. But that's my opinion. I think that level had awesome audio, so suck it. What if the buttons were black? Color. I'm just gonna pretend that this is still silver. What if it looked like this? Oh, I'm certainly gonna like that more. I can already feel it. Push it even further. What if this is white like the piano was white? Like... No, I don't think I'm gonna like that. Especially when it turns silver. Lambert one, huh? I don't think I'd consider myself a coder. You should try Unreal. Visual scripting is pretty... It's a really nice way to ease into it. I think it's a lot better than just like diving into C#. I remember when C# was... Like, I was pretty good at scripting, and I found C# to be kind of a pain in the ass. Not to knock Unity, but because I honestly haven't tried Unity. Maybe their implementation of C# is incredible. I don't know. Yeah, I did see that. Sorry. No, Unreal uses something called Blueprint. It's a visual scripting language. Also, Unreal is possibly getting Python. It's hard to... I got really excited when I saw that first announcement. It sounds more like Maya and Autodesk are writing an extension of their Python API. You know how like all Maya tools are written in Python now because the Python API in Maya is like really good. It's great. It's phenomenal. I love it. Fucking love it. But it sounds like they're... One of the limitations of Unreal right now, I think, is you export to this intermediary file, this FBX format, which you then import into Unreal, and that's like you saw today. Like I'm constantly having to do things like fix material IDs and like align up this material means this and things like that. And anything that can be done to kind of smooth that would be good. And it looks like Maya is actually going to take the charge and try to do that. And part of that is implementing their Python API into Unreal. I don't think Unreal's actually... I don't know. Maybe they are going... Epic is really supporting it. I'm not entirely sure. I guess I would say that would surprise me because I think they've been pretty keen on differentiating themselves by not having an actual programming language, by leaning hard into the visual scripting. From what I understand, that was what they were really excited about. But again, like, I don't work there. I don't know. Maya did dump the use of their internal game engine that they were working on. I'm sorry, Maya. Autodesk dumped the use of their internal game engine that they were working on. They're no longer working on that. Autodesk is constantly flailing. They don't know what to do next. Their current strategy of just buy up the market leader in 3D. I mean, it's a good strategy. It's working, but I don't know if they see a path forward to growing out of that. Especially with Unreal trying more and more to push a lot of the authoring stuff into their engine. There's an actual fear that engines like Unity and Unreal could eat their lunch. And then what are they going to do? They tried making a game engine. They didn't succeed. I've seen Moto's been pushing for bridging into Unity, allowing direct updates without, well, yeah. Yeah, no shit. Keyboard Oreos. Hold on, as soon as I'm done with this, I'll show you in a second. I'm pretty close, I think. I know it looks super ugly right now, but you just gotta believe. Like Tinkerbell. Clap your hands and it'll come. Alright. I think that was the last touch. Let's see if this looks good at all. What did I even... bellows. Okay. Meshes, re-import. Are we good? Oh, we're good. That looks really ugly in here, but maybe it'll look good in game. Alright, what do we got? Anyway, Keyboard Oreos, this is the game we are working on. You are one of a series of little puzzle boxes, and your goal is to figure out how to get from your starting location to your end location. That's the shittiest explanation for a game ever. It's a puzzle game. It's a 3D puzzle game. I'll work on the copy. What I'm currently working on is the art for her. For the accordion. I hate the back of this. It's getting better though. Like a chess. Like 3D chess. Jovix. Alright, you can write the, you'll write the copy for me, man. I'm gonna turn game dev into a collaborative experience. You guys do all the hard work, like figuring out how to talk to press, and I'll just make shit. It'll be fun. That's a much better situation for me. Okay, so things that need to happen. This can't be hideous. Okay. You know what else? The name of this material is white, and it's definitely not white, so we should probably rename this material. Let's start with matte white, which is definitely like a dirty brown. Just call this accordion. Oh, no. Probably use it elsewhere. What am I gonna call this? Brownish green. Okay. Cord. Sure. This is gonna fuck up all my material ideas. Oh god, it didn't. Yes. Yes. Outline square dark. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it anymore. It's not the worst thing ever. It's really not. Should try the silver buttons one more time. I feel like if the silver buttons are small enough, it could actually work. Now I'll go back to hating it if I do that. Still think these look like rocket ships. It's a bit weird. Whatever. Maybe we'll set the next game in space. Fuck it. I don't hate it. You know what is strange though is that it kind of feels like it's floating right here. Is that okay? Yeah, I'll add some sway to the animation later when I animate this. So that it looks like it's kind of like bouncing on the wires. And this looks solid, which is important. Okay, I don't hate it. I'm gonna check this in. Okay. Holy shit, it's already going on 4. How long have I been streaming? I meant to start the stream and immediately get to the next character. 2 hours? Yeah, that's about right, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's get started with the next character. Let me go get some stuff. I'll be right back. Hey guys, I changed my mind. I've got I've got to I gotta do some chores and some life shit. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna take off, do that. That'll probably get me into dinner. Maybe I'll be on after dinner, so it'll be like many hours from now. 'Cause I've kind of let the house fall into disarray over this vacation. Yeah, chores. It's Saturday. If I don't do it now, I won't do it. And this is a really good breaking point. Because if I start another character, I'll just be at it forever. But thanks for listening, guys. I will be streaming definitely again on Monday. And I might surprise stream later tonight or tomorrow. Depending on how self-conscious I feel about how shitty things are going. But thanks for watching and hanging out with me. I think we got a pretty good accordion going. Bye.